I, 22 female, am currently 7 months pregnant. This will be my first child, and me and my boyfriend couldn't be happier. My partner's parents are still together. However, my parents split up when I was 1 and got remarried. My biological father and stepmother got divorced about a year ago, and my father got remarried this year. Needless to say, I have a confusing parental situation. I've never been on good terms with my biological father, but I've always tried for a relationship with him. My partner and I aren't good at keeping secrets, so as soon as we found out about the pregnancy, we excitedly told all of our parents individually. We expressed that we weren't ready for a big announcement, as we just found out ourselves, but we were excited to tell them and to please not share the information until we had announced it ourselves. 2 weeks after telling them our big news was my bio-father's wedding to his wife. No one really knew. At the wedding, I had everyone coming up to me telling me congratulations on the baby, which I had only told my immediate family. I walked up to my bio-father before the wedding started and asked him why he was telling people I was pregnant when I asked him not to. He got mad at me, saying I should be glad he's excited and wants his friends to know, and I was disrespectful at his wedding and ruined it by embarrassing him. I ended up just leaving without saying goodbye. Later, I found out he was telling the rest of my family how mean I am and how I was so disrespectful. After everything that's happened, I have no longer let him know anything about my child, not even the gender or name. It has been 6 months since his wedding, and he still thinks I'm in the wrong. Am I the a-hole? Edit. We did have a date picked out for the announcement, and it was just a few weeks after his wedding. We were waiting for our first ultrasound until we were in the second trimester, in case we had a miscarriage during the first trimester. I do understand that I shouldn't have confronted him at his wedding. I was extremely upset in the moment, and can't change that now. You probably didn't need to confront him at the wedding, but not the a-hole. You made a very simple, easy, free request that he not only didn't respect it, but was indignant about not respecting it. He'll do it again, but that time it will be your fault for assuming that he'd behave any differently. Not the a-hole. Even if we give him the benefit of the doubt and see his sharing as a happy accident, his reaction to you is very telling. If I were in your shoes, I wouldn't want him to be part of my life, let alone your child's. Not the a-hole. He disregarded your wishes and in doing so disrespected you and your boyfriend. Then had the gall to call you disrespectful. Gaslighter. Have a relationship on whatever level you feel is appropriate. This story involves me, 27 female, my sister A, 31 female, and my mom, 60 female. I'm getting married next year to my wonderful fiancé. We are very happy and excited. My mom has a beautiful wedding dress that I have always loved, and so has A. We have both always said we would love to wear it one day, and Mom has always said we both could. A is single. She really wants to find someone, get married and have a family, and I want that for her too. I want her to be happy, and she will be an amazing mom. I know she is happy for me getting married, but she privately said to my mom how difficult she was finding it that I was getting married before her. So I asked Mom if I could wear her dress. A was there. She says yes, as she has said all along I could. However, I'm a lot shorter than my mom and sister. I also have a bigger bust, so the dress needs to be altered to fit me. I spoke to a seamstress and asked if it could be done in a reversible way. She said the bust could be taken back in, as she will out in a panel, or something similar. But even if the hem is turned up and pinned, wearing it all day will likely damage it. She doesn't think it can be let back down. I rang my mom after to check if this was okay, and she said yes. So I went ahead and told the seamstress to do it. Well, clearly Mom told A about it, because she rang me up screaming at me that I had ruined the dress and that she was promised it by Mom. I'm a horrible sister, being selfish and stealing this from her. She finished the call by telling me not to contact her and hung up. I was so shocked I didn't say anything, but have been carrying on and off the last 2 days. She said she won't come to Christmas if I'm there. I don't want to cause problems with my family. I'm sorry my sister is sad about the dress, but I don't know what else I could have done. She was there when I asked about the dress and didn't say anything. It was obvious it would need to be shortened, and it's still Mom's dress, and she gave it the green light. Everyone is pissed at me because my sister is pulled out of Christmas. My fiancé says I did nothing wrong. Am I the a-hole here? Not the a-hole. It's obvious that you'll have to alter the dress unless you and your mother have the exact same body. Your mom said it was okay to alter. By not allowing you to alter it, your sister is saying she has priority over you. She's doing the same thing to you as she perceives you doing to her. Unfortunately for her, your wedding has come first, and you need the dress to fit, and your mother has agreed. Your sister will just have to make do. Her insecurity about her younger sister getting married first seems to be exacerbating the issue, but that's her problem, not yours. Could you wear the dress for the ceremony only, with reversible alterations made, then wear another dress for the reception? It's not uncommon for brides to switch dresses at their wedding. You're the a-hole for knowing how much the dress meant to your sister, how hard a time she's having with you getting married first, and then deciding to completely ignore her and not reach out to her about the dress before making alterations. The dress might be in your mom's ownership, but if you care about your sister's feelings, why wouldn't you include her in the conversation about altering the dress? Not the a-hole. You're not going to prevent yourself from altering a dress so that you can wear it in the eventuality that your sister finds a mate and gets married. That's absolutely ridiculous. There are ways to have the dress altered back, or she can simply find a new one. Either way, it is your day, and you're doing the bare minimum alterations to fit your body type. If you were to have, let's say, completely altered and changed the dress, such as in the movie 21 Dresses, I would completely understand the sister's frustration. However, even then, your mom gave you permission, and it's your day. I think the real issue here is the fact that her sister is getting married before her, and that she feels she is lacking in life, or is a tad envious or jealous. It happens, but it's nothing to ruin a family relationship over. Okay, to start, me, 27 female, and my husband, 28 male, have been married for 4 years. His parents, his mother specifically, and I have never had any problems, but we've never quite meshed or seen eye to eye. We've always got along and been civil. Our future family has been the talk for years. My husband will be the last of his siblings to have children. All of his siblings have at least one. It's been a running joke in the family that if our first happens to be a girl, she won't be accepted because everyone else had a boy for a firstborn. The joke has never sat quite right with me, but I've laughed it off because I don't want to start anything, and maybe I'm just being sensitive. Fast forward to a few months ago when we started trying. It took about 3 months for me to get pregnant. We tracked my cycle and had scheduled S for the best chance. Infertility runs in my family, and my hubby and I agreed on a big family, so I've been worried about starting a family so late in the game. When I did get pregnant, we were overjoyed. We had all the typical couple conversations that come with having a baby: the excitement, names, nursery themes, gender predictions, etc. He talked about wanting a son first so he could be the big, strong leader for all his younger siblings and carry on the family name. A very big deal to him, instilled by his parents. I expressed my desire to have a little girl I could dress up and match with. It became a playful banter. He'd refer to the baby as son, and I would call the baby our daughter. About a week before our gender scan, I searched up all the old wives' tales and made us a chart we could fill out together to see who would hypothetically win our little bet. It included the ring test, Chinese horoscope, heartbeat, cravings, etc. The results ended up being about 50-50 in the end, which made us even more excited to find out for certain at our scan. The following week, we went to our appointment and discovered that our baby was a girl. We were both extremely excited. Hubby was disappointed to lose, but told me he was overjoyed to be raising a daughter by my side. That night, we called our families to share the news. After calling his family, his mother asked to speak to him privately. I went to bed alone as their conversation carried on for well over an hour. The following morning, I woke up alone. There was a note on my husband's nightstand explaining that someone would be by the house to pick up his belongings later this evening. I immediately tried to call him, only to realize he had blocked my number. I then tried his mom. His mom picked up on the first ring. Before I had a chance to get a word in, she started chewing me out, calling me a manipulative bee. I asked her what I had done, and she said I'd ruined her son's reputation by my inexcusable behavior and tendencies. I let her finish her rant before kindly asking her what the duck she was talking about. She told me the divorce papers were already written up, and I wouldn't have the chance to tear apart the family like I had been intending to all this time. I again, slightly less kindly this time, asked her what the duck she was talking about, to which she told me my husband would be leaving me because our child is a girl. I was gobsmacked. I explained to her that it takes two to tango, and there's no way to truly decide the gender of the baby, and if her or her son had a problem with the gender, it was his fault, as it's his chromosome that determines the gender. But she had proof that I'd handpicked to have a girl. Like I said before, we used a calendar to determine which days would be best for S. Well, mother-in-law accused me of forcing him to do it with me on the specific day which the Chinese horoscope would point to a girl. She also interrogated me on the S position we used to conceive the baby, which I gave her a piece of my mind. Told her that was none of her business, but she smugly informed me my husband had already told her, and the position we used makes it 60% more likely to have a girl that way. If anyone's currently trying for a girl, specifically doing cowgirl sometime in the middle of February should do the trick every time, apparently. She finished off by telling me that my clear preference for my family name was disgusting, and she was glad to finally be rid of me and my manipulative ways before hanging up. I've had no contact with my husband since, and it's been over a month. He's blocked me on everything. I can't help but feel this hasn't all been his choice. But then again, he's a grown adult, so I can't imagine his mother controlling him like that. I've been staying with my sister since it all went down. She says I can stay as long as I need, but I'm thinking I want to get my own place, maybe even a few states away. What do I do? Should I pack up and move out? Should I continue trying to contact my husband? Any advice would be appreciated. This is absolutely a crazy situation. For a woman to be sexist against a little baby girl is so insane to me. Your husband is for sure being manipulated and controlled by his mother. I would maybe try to see him in person after he gets off work or something and confront him about what the heck is going on. That way his mother can intercept the conversation. It would be a lot harder for him to avoid giving you some answers. Outside of that, maybe talking to his friends that could talk some sense into him. I don't know. He needs to get away from his mother, though. All of those things people try to do to attempt to conceive a specific gender for the baby are myths. None of them are true. It's literally impossible for you to have influenced this. The fact that your mother-in-law is holding this against you is wild. Your husband has literally just abandoned you. This is disgusting behavior. I'm so sorry, OP. I hope things turn out better for you at the end of this. Not the a-hole. Sign the divorce papers and leave him. Don't put his name on the birth certificate, and pray that the doctors were right that you're carrying a baby girl, because you don't want to have a baby boy with this family. I hope everything goes well for you and the baby. Update. Even though it's been a few weeks since this all went down, I'm still in shock, and I haven't been able to collect my thoughts. Let's just blame it on the pregnancy brain and pretend that my life isn't falling apart before my own eyes. I was able to catch my husband as he was leaving work one night and got his side of the story out of him like I had hoped. As suspected, he admitted that he was excited for a baby girl, and after speaking to his mom, she forced him to leave and block me. His mother already had the divorce papers ready to go. I tried to tell him that we could fix this. We could raise our daughter together away from his mother. I know I sound ducked in the head and naive for this, but I grew up in a household without a father figure, and I was hopeful my daughter could have a different home life experience than what I had. Not to discredit my mother. She's a great woman, and I hope I can be half of the woman she is for my daughter one day. Anyways, my husband had none of it. He said that he realized how conniving and manipulative and aggressive I had been throughout our entire relationship, and he did want to actually go through with the divorce. He said he'd have no problem giving me full custody of the thing that's growing inside of me. That's when I lost all hope. Duck him. I have no problem leaving a man who's so easily brainwashed by his mother like that. I'll raise this baby alone. That's bad enough, but here's the real icing on the cake. I receive a phone call from my soon-to-be ex-husband's brother's wife. We've always been quite close, and she's been my saving grace throughout my pregnancy, giving me all the tips for nausea, etc. She has 3 of her own, 2 boys and a girl. Anyways, she informed me over the phone that she overheard a conversation at weekly Sunday dinner that mother-in-law and husband are trying to blindside me in court and take full custody. I was livid, full on seeing red. I called mother-in-law straight away and demanded to speak to my husband. All he had to say for himself was that he realized he didn't want any of his offspring to be raised by such a manipulative freak, and even though he didn't actually want her, he's sure he can grow to love her again. I'm not sure what to do at this point. I know I have a good case for myself, but I'm ducking terrified they'll win the battle and take everything from me. It brings tears to my eyes thinking about my daughter growing up somewhere where she isn't loved. Even if custody is split 50-50, I'll have no control over the lies they're guaranteed to feed her. My emotions are going haywire trying to write this all out, so I think I'm going to leave it at that. Final update. First off, I won the court case. It was a long and draining road, and I won't go into a ton of detail. Someone connected me to a great lawyer, and everything worked out exactly the way it needed to. I owe it all to you guys. Thank you so much. And second, I gave birth to my sweet baby girl just a few short weeks ago. She is perfect and everything I needed. Babies heal the soul more than you could ever imagine. I could never have done it all without my sister cheering me on through everything.